This is Lori Ruff. I'm the Chief Branding Officer for ALPFA, the Association of Latino Professionals for America. Welcome, everybody. I have with me today a very special guest. Anna was a student member with ALPFA and is now a professional member and working with Dell as a senior finance analyst in their Dell Finance Development Program. And she was hired from Rutgers as a student in 2014 and has been with the program long enough and continues to be involved with ALPFA on behalf of Dell, that it was time to interview her and find out how things are going. So Anna, welcome.
Thank you for having me.
So I am thrilled to have this experience with you. We're getting ramped up on interviewing people and finding out what ALPFA stories are out there and how people found a way to make their ALPFA membership bring them some career success. So tell us a little bit about the early days of Anna and how you found ALPFA.
Sure. So I did my undergrad at Rutgers University in Newark, in the Newark branch of the university. And I learned about ALPFA the very first semester that I joined. Everyone was very excited about all the opportunities, and I just jumped for it and tried to see what was there. And I started going to networking events, but everyone kept talking about the national convention being like the place to be, to find an internship or a full-time job. So I started preparing for it, going to networking events, and then when the time came, I was able to find my internship as well as my full-time job at the national convention. So, the other side, and that's why I'm so passionate about ALPFA, is that during school, it was very hard to find opportunities. Even at career fairs and all of that, it was very competitive. Employers, when they were going to look for candidates, they were overwhelmed to the amount of people reaching out to them. So it was great because with ALPFA, I feel like it's actually the opposite. Like at the conventions, it's more employers than students looking for opportunities. So I feel that's why I was able to get my jobs through ALPFA.
That's really interesting because Rutgers is one of those 60 universities that all the top Fortune 1000 companies go to every year to recruit. So to be a student at Rutgers, at one of those top universities, and feel like you couldn't have your voice heard and you were just part of the crowd, is a different perspective than people might have considered, because usually they hear the story of the recruiters saying, these are the only schools we can go to because that's all the time we have. But what was the campus like at Rutgers? Were there a lot of students? Is it a pretty large school?
So the Newark campus is a little smaller one, but it's very diverse. And fewer companies will go to the Newark campus than the New Brunswick one. So our opportunities might be less. But the other thing is, when recruiters go to our school, it's more on like, okay, on the career fair, you have 5 minutes to talk to them the most. But on some of the ALPFA opportunities, when you go to networking events or even convention or some of the others, like you get to know the person on another level. So that's something completely different to the college experience. Even though they go and they might have workshops and all of that, is like so crowded with students that it's just impossible to have a very lengthy conversation with them and get to know them, and for them to get to know us as well.
Wow, that's cool. So if you were talking to students today who were just getting started in their ALPFA career, what would you tell them were the most important things to prepare to meet those recruiters or the professionals that might open the door for them?
Well, first of all, I will say be completely honest to them. Some people might want to go and try to woo them. Like, they know that you're human too, of course. So just be honest to them and do a prior research. So at least they know, if you go and you say, oh, I'm very interested in this. Okay, but what do you know about like our company. And if you don't show any, like, okay, you're kind of contradicting yourself. So I'll say, do your research, be honest, and just be human. Like sometimes, like when I was in school, I got so scared by recruiters that, but they're just another human being. So it's just try to have a normal, honest conversation with them, and but just make sure that you do some research beforehand, for sure.
Cool. That's great advice. So tell us about the Dell program. You're in a special finance development program for very talented individuals and people that show a lot of promise. What is that program like?
Sure. So it's a 2-year program in which we rotate to 4 different roles, so 6 months rotation. You have a full-time job, but at the same time, on top of that, since Dell sees us as the future leaders of the finance department, they also teach MBA level classes. And the people who teach us those classes are executives. So they kind of go through the curriculum that you might see in classes the first semester, yeah, as an MBA. And then the second 6 months is more of a Dell specific, so how that curriculum applies to Dell. And then the last year is more of simulations and presentations. So I'm currently in my last semester. And in this semester, we do an audit simulation. And then towards the end, we go over an actual problem that the company has. We recommend solutions, and we get to actually present to the CFO and his staff. That's pretty exciting.
That's very exciting. Yes. So, okay, you're almost done then, and you get to present to the CFO of Dell. That's crazy. And then what are your prospects once you complete the program?
So the department, like the person that manages our program, like she'll sit with us and she'll kind of get to know what is that we want. And she also has a very good idea of how our development has been and which roles we have done better than the others.
Mm-hmm.
So she kind of do a matching of what the company, like the finance department needs are and what we want. But we are guaranteed a role after the whole program. So that's a relief for sure. But yeah, it's more like matching and hearing what we would like to do.
Nice. That's very cool. And what are you doing with Dell to be involved in, to continue your involvement in ALPFA? I know it's really intense, the work and the schooling and things that you're doing, the education that they're giving you. And so that doesn't really give you a lot of time to be involved at the local chapter level, but you're still involved with ALPFA through your involvement with Dell. What is that like?
Yeah, so initially, the first semester, since there were like more classes, it was very heavy on the time consumption. But even though I tried to get involved on the Women of Alpha that they have here in Austin, so I helped plan that one. And then once I got like, okay, I did a good job on that, then I kind of throw myself to volunteer on the Alpha National Convention. This past one that was in New York.
Mm-hmm.
And so it has been like step by step, but since they really like the job that I did in New York, so I will be again helping in the Dallas one this year. So I have been trying to get involved as much as I can from the beginning, and it has been good being able to get into the whole recruiting process, the planning for the convention, and I just look forward to getting more involved and help more Dell recruit from Alpha.
Nice. Nice. So you're working with Alpha, you're working with Dell, you're helping Dell recruit more Alpha students because that's where you came from. I love that. I love the serendipity, and I love the continuity that you've brought to it. So what do you hope that your future looks like in the next 5 to 10 years? Where do you hope to be?
So for the professional side, the Dell side, well, let's see what my role will be after the program. But I'm planning on doing my MBA. I'll be, once I get like more stable in my full-time job, like I'll start studying, pass the exam, and through all of that process. And then just keep getting involved with Alpha. If I get to do my MBA, then I'll be back on the student side and kind of get involved on that part. But I'm still planning to keep working at Dell, so I'll be doing like part time. So it will be good to be like okay on the Dell side supporting Alpha and also like on the student side. So let's see
Nice.
how that goes, but that's the plan.
Great. That's really cool. Well, what haven't I asked you that you'd like to tell people, whether they be students or other professionals? I mean, you're an early career professional technically, and what else would you like to tell anybody?
Well, on the student side, I'll say like Alpha is a great tool. At least for me, I would not have been able to get the jobs or like the internship and the full time that I have right now if it wasn't for Alpha. So keep getting involved. Definitely attend the national convention. That's for me the most like the greatest part that Alpha has to offer. Um, do your research, be like top notch. So not only is on your benefit, but you're also helping Alpha look better on the students that they're bringing to the table. Um, and then, I mean, on the professional side, I would say um, the students that Alpha brings are, I mean, if you go that extra mile of attending networking events, of going to conventions, like you're really interested, you're really working for it, the diversity is there, so it's just a great place. And just give your best all the time.
Nice. Well, I look forward to seeing you at convention in Dallas this August, which is the 5th through the 9th this year at the Gaylord Texan, just outside of Dallas. And look forward to seeing you and your team and Dell at the convention again, and being involved with the students. I will see you at the career fair.
Sounds good. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Anna. This is Lori Ruff, the Chief Branding Officer for Alpha, signing off for now with Anna Agudelo. And if you're interested in more careers at Dell, check out dell.com/careers. That's dell.com/careers. Thanks, Dell. We appreciate your support.